Nextera Develop Number 1. Building the first survival loop. Before Nextera has Magix, Robots, Advanced Civilization, or Hill Colony System, it needs only one thing first: survival. So, for the first develop, I focus on the foundation part, the simple loop that lets a colony gather resources, move them, and slowly become a real settlement. Nextera is a 3D colony simulation game where pawn work, survive, build, and eventually going into a large system. But I don't want to start with the flashy feature first, because if the basic survival loop is weak, then future system like Magix, technology, robot, creature, and ideology part will not matter. So the first goal is simple: make the colony feel alive through basic work. The foundation part is the neutral starting layer of Nextera. It's not magic, it's not advanced technology, it's not a faction identity. It's the practical human survival state: food, shelter, work, storage, safety, and simple resource. The colony starts by creating stability. Once the colony can survive, then it can choose a bigger direction later. The first action is gathering. At this stage, pawns don't need advanced tools. They can collect simple resources from the environment: berry, plant, root material, branch, or anything useful nearby. This is important because I want the early game to feel forgiving. The colony should be able to survive with basic action first, then become more efficient as tools and workstations are added later. After gathering, shopping becomes one of the first stronger resource action. What is useful because it's connected to the many early systems: shelter, files, tools, simple workstation, and storage. Even though shopping is a small action, it starts to create the first real protection chain. The player is no longer only survive from what is already on the ground. They are starting to shape the map. Mining adds another layer to the foundation loop. Stone and ore are slower to collect, but they give the colony stronger building and crafting options later. I like mining because it creates a different type of player decision. Trees are easy and visible, but mining change terrain, takes more work time, and connect to the future construction and production system. Resources are not useful just because they exist. They need to be moved. This is why hauling is one of the most important early jobs in Nextera. Gather, copying, and mining create resources, but hauling connects those resources to the colony. Without hauling, the map is just full of items. With hauling, those items become part of the working settlement. The stockpile is where the loot starts to become readable. The player can see what the colony has, what is missing, and what needs to happen next. It also gives future systems some time to depend on. Cooking needs ingredients, building needs material, crafting needs resources, and other systems like trading, decay, storage, loom, and production all need this basic resource flow first. This is why I'm starting small. It might not look as exciting as combat, magic, robot, or advanced civilization yet, but this loop is the backbone. If pawn can gather, chop, mine, hunt, and store resource keenly, every future system has something solid to build on. The foundation part is not about making the colonies powerful, it is about making the colony stable. Now that the first survival loop is starting to work, the next step is turning those resorts into a place to live. That will be the focus of the DevBlock tool. From camp to shelter, the first loop gives the colony wood, stone, and basic material, but resort only matter when pawn can turn them into shelter, room, storage, and safety. So next, I want to work on rough sleeping spot, basic construction job, wall, doors, floor, and roof logic. This is where the colony start to change from survival outside to actually living somewhere. And if the system feels right, this may become one of the first foundation part unlocked. Basic construction. That's it for this first Nextera DevBlock. The colony is still simple, but the first survival loop is starting to work. Next time we will take those resources and start turning the camp into shelter. Thanks for watching.